Welcome to The Explainer. I want you to step into the shoes of a reading specialist with me today. Think of this as a direct, supportive mentorship session designed specifically to help you reach struggling readers. Listen, if you're a new teacher feeling totally overwhelmed by your classroom data, or maybe a parent sitting at the kitchen table feeling that familiar tension rising during homework time, just take a deep breath. You are in the right place. Today we're going to blend the proven, hard science of reading with the emotional psychology of teaching. And we're doing this to build absolute rock-solid resilience in our students. Okay, so here is our game plan. We've got a really clear 5-step roadmap today. We're going to identify the exact struggle, shift our instructional mindset, pick the right research-based tools, make it fully multisensory, and, perhaps most importantly, keep the joy of reading alive.
All right, let's jump right into step 1, which is all about removing the guesswork and identifying the struggle so we can find that perfect sweet spot for learning.
Now, before we even think about testing a child, we have to talk about what a scope and sequence is. Think of this as your ultimate step-by-step GPS. It's a logical progression of phonics skills that shows you exactly where to begin your interventions. When you look at this flow chart, from assessment to planning, interpreting specific error patterns becomes so much easier. For example, if your screener shows a student totally gets 3-letter words but misses every single word with a silent E, well, you don't need to reteach the entire alphabet, right? You just target your future lesson focus exactly right there, the silent E. It saves you and the students so much time.
When you actually sit down to administer a diagnostic tool, like the Quick Phonics Screener, you want to follow these exact steps. And here is a huge tip from my own classroom. Start using a simple qualitative observation log. Literally just keep a little notepad next to you and jot down their emotional engagement. Are they sighing? Are they tense? The whole goal here is to pinpoint what they know without crushing their confidence. So step 3 on this list is absolutely crucial. You must stop the assessment immediately before the student gets frustrated. We are actively protecting their growth mindset here.
Moving on to step 2. And honestly, this requires a massive psychological shift for us as the adults in the room.
Look, as educators and parents, it is so incredibly easy to experience emotional burnout when you're providing high-intensity support and just not seeing immediate results. But this comparison perfectly illustrates why we need to change our expectations. A gifted learner might pick up a new reading concept after, 3 to 5 repetitions? But a struggling reader? They require high-intensity instruction, extended duration, and massive repetition to achieve that same mastery. This means that needing drastically more time is just a standard part of their neurological journey. It is not a failure. Actually, I use this exact script when I'm coaching a stressed-out parent through a tough session. I tell them, your child isn't failing. Their brain just requires more repetitions to build a permanent neural pathway. You are doing exactly the right thing by repeating it. So, the takeaway here is absolute patience. Instead of a quick, breezy 10-minute phonics drill, you might realistically need 20 to 30 minutes to build true long-term skill mastery. And you know what? You can track this progress without using complex, intimidating data tools. Just grab a simple visual chart where the student gets to slap on a sticker for every 20 minutes of solid focus. This celebrates their daily effort, it highlights those small wins, and it builds emotional resilience rather than just demanding perfect academic execution every single time.
Okay, with our mindset anchored firmly in patience, let's move to step 3, building your actual day-to-day toolkit.
If you're looking for what actually moves the needle, any program you use needs to hit every single one of these non-negotiable daily tasks. We're talking phonemic awareness, explicit phonics, encoding and decoding, vocabulary, and yes, even handwriting practice. If you are building a lesson or picking an intervention, ensure it checks off every single box on this list.
So, let's look at how the top research-based intervention programs actually compare in the real world. UFLI Foundations is fantastic. It's highly accessible, very low cost, and super user-friendly for a new teacher leading a small group. Then you have IMSE's Orton Gillingham, which is brilliant, but it requires a pretty massive time and financial investment to learn. And for parents at home just trying to build a positive relationship during daily homework tasks, the Reading.com app is a lifesaver. It provides perfectly scripted, low-stress 20-minute daily sessions that literally guide you word for word.
Which brings us to step 4, and this is where the real magic happens in the classroom, making these lessons multi-sensory.
You absolutely do not need a massive budget to be effective here. Just grab these essential, super low-cost supplies to transform how your kids interact with letters. Have them use those silicone poppets to count out individual sounds. Let them trace sandpaper letters with their fingers, or, my personal favorite, fill sandwich baggies with cheap hair gel to create a squishy writing board. Yes, cheap hair gel is literally about to become your greatest pedagogical tool. These practical methods make differentiating small group activities within a busy classroom incredibly easy and surprisingly fun.
But here is the absolute secret to neurological retention. You have to follow the multi-sensory rule. You must stimulate 2 different senses at the exact same time. It's not enough to just quietly draw a letter on a whiteboard. To truly make it stick, you need the auditory, visual, kinesthetic, or tactile modes overlapping simultaneously.
To put that into perspective, look at this concrete routine. If a student is struggling, have them vocalize the ah sound out loud while their finger physically traces the letter A in a tray of sand. Combining that physical, tactile act with the auditory sound powerfully links those brain pathways. This exact type of repetitive, multisensory practice is exactly how we achieve long-term literacy success. Finally, we reach step 5. As we focus so intensely on all these tiered interventions, we must desperately protect a child's pure joy for reading. Intense learning takes a toll, so we have to intentionally boost student motivation. I want you to ask yourself this critical classroom management question right now. Are your struggling readers missing out on the whole class read aloud because they're being pulled out for interventions? Please, do not let them be academically isolated. A simple tip here is to adjust your seating arrangements to reduce distraction during whole class reading. Put those struggling readers right up near the front, completely immersed in the story, where the pressure of decoding is totally removed.
Celebrating a read aloud works wonders for protecting a student's self-esteem. It allows them to access incredible, complex themes like friendship and perseverance, even if they can't decode that text themselves yet. And for parents at home, focus on creating a low-stress reading space. Maybe just a cozy corner with some pillows, where you simply read out loud to them. It maintains that positive bond and completely removes the stress of performance from the equation.
By combining these joy-filled moments with a really structured 20-minute daily routine like this blueprint, we build deeply resilient learners. It's simple. Start with a catchy song to warm up, review old letters, learn one new sound, blend them together, and end with some physical letter formation. This active sequence is exactly how you realistically set and reach goals for long-term mastery. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take into your classroom or your living room tomorrow. How will you balance the absolute patience of psychology with the proven science of reading? Remember, a struggling reader isn't asking us to lower our standards, they're just asking us to adjust our timeline. If reading is the gateway to a child's entire future, aren't they worth a few extra repetitions? Keep that joy alive, celebrate those tiny wins, and keep up the incredible work you're doing.